beautiful Paris with Yoni Assia from eToro. How are you doing, Yoni?
Very good, very good. Always a pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah, and still smiling.
Yeah, always trying to smile.
All right. How is eToro doing? I mean, lots of plans. You just started in US market, huh? That's a big step.
Yeah, so we have a very exciting sort of period right now. We just launched in the US last month. We're already starting to seeing our business scaling up in the US. US for us for now is crypto only, but we're definitely interested in adding stocks into the US as well. We're here in Paris Blockchain Week, and we're now launching eToroX, which is our crypto asset exchange. So traditionally on eToro we were the first regulated financial institution in Europe to enable people to invest in crypto assets such as Bitcoin and later on Ethereum and XRP. But as a regulated broker, people deposited fiat into eToro and could invest. Just like you invest in Facebook stock, you could invest in Bitcoin or in Ethereum. Over the past 12 months, we were actually working on eToroX. We launched about 6 months ago the eToro wallet, which enabled people to transfer the assets that they bought on a brokerage platform on eToro into basically the eToro wallet to enable them to then send and receive and pay in stores potentially with Bitcoin. Now we're launching eToroX. With eToroX, we're launching an exchange where you can deposit Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, etc. And we're also launching a set of 8 stable coins that we're issuing. 8 stable coins, euro, dollar, yen, pound, yen, Canadian dollar, etc. So you will be able to trade Bitcoin versus all of these stable fiat stable coins and Ether and XRP, etc. against all of these stable coins with liquidity that both us and partner market makers are providing. So from day one when we're launching the exchange, there's 37 pairs. On each of these pairs, there's significant liquidity already. And around that, people can actually see for the first time sort of the beginning of our vision of tokenizing traditional financial assets into the blockchain. Starting with fiat, then going to commodities, then going to potentially stocks, indices, and then more unique things like property and art.
And how does the roadmap look like? I mean, this is quite a big project. I mean,
we started talking and writing about tokenization in 2012 when we wrote the Colored Coins white paper with Vitalik Buterin. So it's been on my mind almost since I saw Bitcoin in 2010 for the first time. So I truly believe that blockchain is a superior way to represent financial assets from a technological point of view. I think the market will take its time to mature to a point where we'll see trillions of dollars on the blockchain, but I think it's just a matter of time. And we're very happy to sort of build the infrastructure required to enable both financial institutions to tokenize financial assets and for other industries to sort of be able to tokenize assets, then list them on eToroX, then open them up to both our wallet and the eToro platform.
So it will be both cryptocurrencies but also like security tokens on the same platform?
Definitely.
And how will it be regulated? Are you in talks with different jurisdictions?
So eToroX is regulated as a distributed ledger technology company in Gibraltar. They were one of the first jurisdictions in the world to actually issue specific rules for distributed ledger technology. We've been working with them for a while to set up and to launch both the eToro wallet and eToroX, the exchange. We're also working with various regulators around the world, from Australia to the US to the UK, around sort of the different types of tokenized assets. But you are right to ask the question, because there's no doubt that there's sort of two big challenges in tokenizing the world. One is technology, and the other one is sort of the regulatory framework.
Yeah, and perhaps also liquidity because you have T0, Polymath, and exchanges, and they have problems with liquidity. I
So
mean,
that's why we're relying with the new product of eToroX, we're relying a lot of the knowledge and experience of the group. We did $1 trillion in volume last year. So we have sufficient liquidity and connectivity to liquidity to really enable sort of to jumpstart the exchange. But there isn't a doubt that when you're talking about sort of more niche markets like STOs, that liquidity and volumes is a big part of that.
and I'm not sure if you know the research of Bitwise, and they actually did research on all these crypto exchanges, and like 96% of the volume is actually like wash trading or fake. What is your reaction on that, on these conclusions? I mean,
I think I think it is a challenge, the fact that the majority of top crypto exchanges on CoinMarketCap are unregulated, and then it's very hard to rely on those numbers. I think for a while people sort of thought, okay, maybe those numbers are correct, when we saw the top exchanges are exchanges we're familiar with, like Bitfinex and Binance and Huobi and OKCoin. But I think suddenly over the past 12 months, we see sort of these exchanges coming out of nowhere suddenly with 2 billion volume a day, and everybody's sort of saying, okay, we understand that something here isn't right. How do we measure it? How are these exchanges preventing wash trading? Do they do market surveillance? So again, eToro's been regulated for a while. We understand regulation in the securities market, which obviously is much tougher than the crypto markets. And the crypto markets is much tougher than being simply unregulated. I think people need to understand the risks of trading in an unregulated environment. I think some of them, by the way, understand it. That's why, a lot of users are just depositing funds, doing a trade, then removing it off the exchanges, where sort of the core part of regulation is be truthful, right? Make sure that people understand the truth and don't mislead them. That's the good example of volumes. And the second part is make sure that customer funds are completely segregated from companies' funds, right? Those are the two biggest and most important parts from a customer point of view. Of course, there's many other moving parts in regulation that are important for crypto exchanges.
is Bitcoin Satoshi Vision? Is it still listed with you guys, or?
We have not listed BSV on eToro to date. When we did the split, because we didn't know how difficult it would be to support BSV, confirmation blocks, etc., we actually gave to holders of BCH the dollar value of the BSV after we took the fork. I think that was at like $90. So I think our users can be grateful that they got $90 for their BSV.
Any other coins that are going to be listed? Can you?
We are going to list many, many more tokens. There are C20 tokens, more stable coins, more crypto assets on eToroX. We are building eToroX as a more professional platform for professional users, right? So it's an exchange. In eToro, we constantly focus on simplicity, on making things as simple as possible. Fast onboarding, simple KYC, a simple deposit process, simple purchasing or investing in crypto, simple experience in the wallet, very sort of slick user experience. On eToroX, we're building an exchange. A market order book is not necessarily simple for somebody who doesn't understand how to trade on exchanges. You swipe the book, right? You can be a taker, you can be a maker, different tiers of fees. On that platform, we're going to bring professional investors who trade large volumes. We're going to add more liquidity, more tokens, and then from there also enable more potentially tokens to run on the eToro platform as well.
Like Coinbase is doing with Tezos,
Um,
with staking and baking.
Somewhat similar, also somewhat similar to Coinbase and Coinbase Pro, right? So eToroX is basically the pro version of the crypto part of eToro.
Do you trade yourself?
I do. Anybody who wants to see how I trade can go to eToro and see my portfolio, Yoni Assia's portfolio.
And any favorites at the moment?
I'm a big fan of Ethereum and Bitcoin. Bitcoin because I think it's here to stay. It is sort of the mega coin eventually, and I think its brand is too strong to disappear. Of course, things might happen to sort of harm Bitcoin.
Quantum computing
or Satoshi somehow appearing and not being what people expect with his couple of billion of dollars in crypto. So there are still risks, but I think for the long term, for now it seems like the main winner of sort of digital gold thesis. Ethereum, I'm guessing, I've been there before it started. I knew and worked with Vitalik in 2012 and 13 before Ethereum happened. I'm super excited about the potential of smart contracts. There are other platforms that are interesting in that aspect. I think, though, the developer community around Ethereum is very strong and very interesting. Regarding others, I'm still a holder or a hodler of, to some extent, some XRP, some BNB, some EOS.
Hodler.
So I believe in general in the entire sort of market through the crypto fund of eToro. So there's a crypto copy portfolio. You can actually invest in one click in eToro in a portfolio of 14 cryptocurrencies that are market cap allocated and rebalanced once a quarter. So that's a great way to expose, and I'm actually personally invested there.
You have here Silica, OneChain, that kind of projects walking around.
Yeah, so we're talking to some of them. So we're talking to some of the people walking around here about potential listing on eToro as well.
Thank you very much, Yoni, again, and I hope to see you in Amsterdam in May, actually. And
I'll see you there.
all the best in Paris.